Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox back for another episode of our Podfest Expo 2024 speaker series. I'm absolutely thrilled today because number one, I have a fellow Texan. Number two, I have a fellow Central Texan. I never get that. But I've got Mike Hamilton with Rogue Media Network. Mike, first of all, welcome and thank you so much for taking the time to visit with me today.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it. Super excited about this.
Mike, could you tell us your role in podcasting?
Started off as a podcaster, had a couple of shows, then met up with some folks who wanted to start a network, did just that. And so now I run a podcast network of 150, 160 plus shows.
What's the name of it?
Rogue Media Network.
And does it have a focus?
So it's funny that you asked that. 2024 is the year that we start peeling those things off. So for instance, we've been a catch-all to begin with. And so we've got shows from true crime all the way to a dental podcast. And that makes it a little hard to find things if you're a catch-all. So what we're starting to do is create these sub-networks. So the first one will be called Renew. It's a faith and family network. So only those type shows, the ads that fit those type shows, they're in their own world as far as working with each other and other shows. And that way we don't have, a faith-based show next to true crime or next to astrology or whatever. So that'll be the first one we spin off. The second one, which will probably start middle March, will be a sports network. And honestly, sports it gets numbers. It does well. Of course, being in Texas, we're all sports crazy. And I don't think that one's going to be real hard to fill out. We've got a couple of guys coming over that were traditionally TV news that are going to host the things. Got the one guy who is currently calling games for ESPN, so he's going to be face of the little sub network. And then after that, we'll see.
So what could you give us a teaser of your presentation at Podfest Expo 2024?
So my presentation, it's a Pecha Kucha. Hopefully I said that correctly. And it is how to give away everything and still start a podcast network. So basically the teaser here is we gave everything away for 2.5 years. We didn't charge a dime to anybody. And we're in our fourth place, our fourth location in 4 years, but we're on the 21st floor of this building here in Waco now. And I don't know where else we would go. We have really started to grow. We got lots of paying shows, got lots of new content that we're developing. My dream is for us to become an actual studio, though, so that we're producing first-run content, and we're getting awfully close.
Mike, I found out that this will be your first Podfest Expo, and this happens to be the 10th anniversary of Podfest Expo. So I wanted to ask you, as a first-time attendee going to our big anniversary of 10 years, what are you hoping to get out of Podfest Expo 2024?
So like I told you before we started, I went to Podcast Movement and enjoyed myself, but it did feel fairly corporate. It seemed like everybody was set up to sell you something. And that's great. That's fine. That's what I'm used to, having been in education and stuff and gone to a lot of these type shows. What I'm hoping with this show is to get a little closer to actual podcasters, maybe try to network with people that are just doing the show because they love it, or doing the show hoping to gain something eventually, but want to put in the work. I need people that are consistent. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're showing up at something like this and paying for a ticket, you're probably pretty close to consistent.
Mike, I'm greatly looking forward to both your presentation and hopefully I can meet you at Podfest Expo 2024. I'll see you in Orlando later this month.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a good one.